We use them every single day. They are the small plastic bricks we plug into our walls without a second thought to keep our digital lives running. On the surface, a smartphone charger seems simple. It takes the high-voltage alternating current from your wall and turns it into the low-voltage direct current your phone needs. But if you look under the hood, the process is far from a straight line. To get that power safely into your pocket, the electricity inside that plastic box goes on a wild roller coaster. It converts AC to DC, then back to AC at a massive frequency, and then finally back to DC one last time. It seems like a lot of extra work for a tiny device. Why do we need to turn the electricity back into AC before the final output? How does this tiny box manage such high voltage without melting? And what is that strange component inside that uses light to talk to the circuit? Today, we are looking at the clever engineering inside your wall plug. How does a mobile charger work? When you plug a charger into a 220-volt outlet, the first thing the electricity hits is safety. There is a small fusible resistor designed to sacrifice itself and break the circuit if there is a power overload. Once past that, the electricity meets a bridge rectifier. This is a diamond-shaped arrangement of 4 diodes that forces the alternating current, which normally flows back and forth, to flow in only one direction. This creates a fluctuating direct current. To smooth those ripples out, a high-voltage filter capacitor acts like a reservoir, storing the energy and releasing it steadily to create a nearly pure, high-voltage DC. But here is the problem. You now have over 300 volts of direct current. If you sent that to your phone, it would instantly fry the battery. To lower the voltage, we need a transformer. But a standard transformer designed for the 50 Hz frequency coming out of your wall would be the size of a grapefruit, much too big to fit in your pocket. This is where the engineering gets brilliant. To make the charger small, we use something called a switched-mode power supply, or SMPS. The charger uses a pair of transistors to act as high-speed electronic switches. These transistors turn the DC power on and off at an incredible rate, between 15,000 and 50,000 times per second. This creates a high-frequency alternating current. By increasing the frequency from 50 Hz to 50,000 Hz, the physics of magnetism changes. Because the pulses are so fast, the transformer can be shrunk down to the size of a fingernail and still move the same amount of energy. This is the secret sauce that allows modern chargers to be so small. The high-frequency AC travels through the primary winding of this tiny transformer, inducing a lower voltage in the secondary winding. Now we have low-voltage AC on the other side of the transformer. A special Schottky diode and another capacitor perform the final conversion, turning it back into the 5-volt DC your phone recognizes. But there is a major safety concern. We cannot have a physical wire connecting the high-voltage side of the charger to the low-voltage side that touches your phone. If something shorted out, 220 volts could travel straight into your device. To solve this, engineers use an Opto-Coupler. This is a small component that contains an infrared LED on one side and a light-sensitive transistor on the other. They are separated by a physical gap. When the output voltage reaches 5 volts, a Zener diode opens the gate, allowing a tiny bit of current to light up that internal LED. The light travels across the gap, hits the phototransistor, and sends a signal back to the high-voltage side to slow down the switching speed. This feedback loop happens thousands of times a second, ensuring the charger stays at exactly 5 volts regardless of how much power your phone is pulling. The next time you plug in your phone, remember the chaos happening inside that little brick. In the span of a millisecond, electricity is being filtered, chopped into thousands of pulses, shrunk down through a tiny transformer and regulated by a bridge of light. We don't use simple converters because they would be too big and too hot. Instead, we use high-frequency physics to keep our technology small, cool, and safe. Thanks for watching What Exactly Is. If this helped you understand the tiny power plant in your wall, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history and mechanics of simple things. We'll see you in the next one.